part 2 of our series, we saw how to draw and model any solar panel and create a block out of it. Today, we are going to learn how to use that block to arrange it on any given area. Our case in point is our C building. Now let's get started by opening AutoCAD and creating a new file. As always, the first step is to set the drawing unit. In the next step, we would go to our folder and import the map we saved in step 1. Now we go and copy it to the clipboard and then come to AutoCAD and then right click and paste it. Now you specify the insertion points. As always, we would insert to the origin, so we enter 0, 0. Leave the scale factor at 1. So you notice that after inserting, you don't see anything. We have to zoom to go to where the image is. Now you enter zoom and then press S10 or type E to bring us to where the image has been pasted at the origin. So let us measure the size of our map to see its true size and dimension. So we do MEA at the command input, and you'll see that the true size of the map is 2 meters, which is not a reflection of the true size of the map, because if you look at the scale here, that small line there is saying it's 20 meters. That means we need to scale it up. Now to scale it up, we need to measure the real length of this scale, that 20 meter scale down there, and then we divide the 20 meters by that real length to know the factor we need to multiply the whole map by. So let us draw a line, measure its length, and divide 20 by that length. So we can see that the scale factor is 37.3483. Now we would scale the picture by this factor. To do that, we will select the map and then type scale into the command input and then enter the scale factor. So you can see that even after we have scaled up our image, the map is still clear. It's still a high resolution image, which is why we selected the ultra high resolution image, so that when we scale it up, it wouldn't pixelate and disturb the quality. Now, let us measure the true scale this time and see that it's close to 20 meters. You can see that if we measure the true scale, it's 19.9785, approximately close to 20 meters. So our map is properly scaled and ready for drafting to scale. Next step, we are going to create layers for our drawing. So we go to layer properties and create the first layer. The guides will be used to plot the grids on where we have to place our solar panels. We'll create another layer called the roof edge. It will guide us to know the edge of the roof where we must not place panel. Those lines that we will draw are temporary. We will later on delete them. We are going to draw infinity lines to define the areas where we should place our panels. These infinity lines, called the X lines, extend from infinity to infinity. So we've placed our rib on the vertex of the roof where we must not place any panel. Then we are going to draw lines to define the roof edges, the actual roof edges within which we can place our panels. want to end our line here, put it here, but the snap feature is snapping it to where it's shown in green. So if we release it, that is where it would get connected to, and that's not what we like. So we will go on and turn off the snap feature. Then now we can place it anywhere. We don't see any snap feature again. Now we would expect the line to snap to that endpoint, but because we've turned it off, it is not doing that, so we go back and turn it on. Then we can snap to it. Good. So now we would correctly draw that roof edge. You can see that, and these areas are not places we can actually draw because these are edges. You can, when you look closely, you can see these are edges. That means that our roof edge must be shorter than it is now. So we put it on the edge, then we choose either stretch or lengthen to bring it back to the actual size. We do the same for the other line. So after we've defined the area within which we are placing our panels, we go on and import our panel. So we go to the block and then select the panel. But you can see that from the size of the block and from our roof area, we cannot stack it vertically unless we align it horizontally. So let's place it anywhere and proceed to align it horizontally. Now to do that, we type align. Select the panel, and then we will choose a base point. There are two base points we need to choose. The source point, which is the point on the panel to where it should be attached to. So we select the other edge. Then we will select another point on the panel, the other edge, and then where we want it to be aligned to, which is towards the side. It will ask us for a third point. We are not doing, it's not in 3 dimensions, so we press space bar to ignore, and he says, are we scaling it? No, we are not scaling it. We press enter. Now it's perfectly aligned for us. In the next step, we are going to draw our grid. So we would offset this by 1.333. 1.333 because the width is 1.303 plus an allowance of 30 millimeters. We'll proceed and offset it twice. Good. Now you can see that the space left cannot fit another line of solar panels, so we wouldn't offset again. We would have only 2 rows or 2 strings here. Now in the next step, we are going to make this their proper layer, which is the guide. Now we would also proceed and draw the vertical axis. So we will draw a line L. Start from that endpoint and draw a perpendicular line downwards. Any length is okay, but it must extend beyond the last horizontal grid. So we would offset by 2.414 because 2384 plus 30 is 2414. We would offset that a couple of times until we see the space left cannot accommodate anymore. Great. Now we copy select that endpoint and begin to paste it across. So now we want to count how many panels we have. We are not going to do it manually. We are going to group them. When we group them, we can note how many panels we have. You select the group and then you see that it's showing us the number of panels we have, which is 10. Now after we are done with one side, we can simply copy that side onto the other side. To align this side, we would first ungroup them. Remember we grouped it, so we would ungroup by typing the ungroup command. Then align it row by row by using the move command. See that we have some more space to fit some more panels here, so we are going to ungroup the rows and then both rows so that we can select the last column and fill as many spaces as we can. So we select the last column to fill as many spaces as we can, but before that we need to draw our grid, so we're going to use the XLine. This group of cells onto the other side. We don't need to model everything from the scratch. That's the beauty of it. Just copy and paste and you're gone. Now we can ungroup them because we see there is a cutout area where we can't fit panels, so we ungroup and delete them. Good. We do the same thing for this one too. Correctly position and place them. You can see that that is lying on top of the cutout area, so we need to delete it too. And you can see we don't have a lot of allowance behind there, so we need to delete that one too. And that is also intersecting with the cutout area, but we wouldn't delete, we'll pull it back because we can see there's a lot of space behind, so we would move it back. Similarly, we move this series a little away from the cutout area. Now that figure casts shadow, so we need to take it away so that it won't cast shadow upon it. You can see that there are still some rooms where we can place a couple of panels. So let's do that. Let's create our grid and attempt to place them there. If you closely inspect the side of the roof, you can see there is an edge over there, and that's why at times visual inspection by going there on the side is very good, so you can actually know the true nature of the roof. Now, so we would have to move this slightly away from it. Now we can see that we still have some room for a couple of panels on the side. So let's see, then let's look at it. Now one thing is that it's aligned towards the north, right? And we know that the sun rises from the east and set at the west, so shadows, sun starts from that side towards the side, so shadows will fall on the left side, on this side of the building. That means that shadows will never fall on this side of the building, because that is the order. It never goes in reverse. So we can shift that side closely towards, the building to make more room behind there for a couple of panels to be placed. Now we are going to go on and do that. Now we can see that there is an edge there. When you look at it cleanly by visually inspecting it, there is an edge there. So we are going to draw an infinity line, X line, towards that edge, so we know where our panels must not cross. We know all this area where it crosses, we can put a panel there. Now let's draw a horizontal X line here, then know the areas where we can fix them. after we properly arrange it, you can see there is still some room where we can put a couple of panels. When we draw a line, you see where it passes, right? So we know there are still some room where we can put a couple of these. Let's go ahead and draw a grid and put them there. See that the color we choose for the cells is not very visible from afar. It doesn't look blue enough, and that's the advantage of drawing by layers. We can easily change the layers, the color of the layers of the cell, and they reflect. Now let's group it all so that we can know how many cells we have, right? Let's group it all together and then see how many cells we have. Now 91, when we group them, you see 91 found. That means there are 91 panels that can fit on this side of the roof. You can see that at where we are right now, we can't really see the cells. So let's change the hatch. Let's use the block hatch. Let's change it from the angle to solid. Then let's see how that will affect it. Good. This is more visible. Then we can change the color. Of the come into the layer properties, and we can play around and choose which one we like. Doesn't look like solar panels. This looks like plants. Okay, blue is good. Yeah, this looks okay. So you can do this and choose which one is good for you.